Hey friends, welcome to today's vlog. It is Sunday morning and I have a couple things that I want to do today. The first is I want to wet block one of my finished crochet projects. I need to wind this very large hank of yarn and also get some crocheting in. And then I need to prepare the apartment and some other things because a couple of my girlfriends are coming over in the afternoon for a belated birthday get together. I am hosting a little bag charm making get together. I thought that was a cute idea. So I ordered a bunch of bag charm supplies online. I haven't tested them or even opened them, so figured I should also maybe make like a sample bag charm before they come over, just to make sure that all the beads that I ordered work with the thread that I got and like the keychain ring and all of that. So that's what's on the agenda. Let's get right into it. Before we get into wet blocking, I wanted to show you my latest finished crochet project. This is the Estrad scarf by Tanya's Crochet. I used yarn that I got at New York City Yarn Crawl. This is Murky Depths Triton MCN yarn in the color drab. It has some cashmere in it, so thought it would be perfect for a neck scarf. And it's also perfect timing because the weather is getting colder here in New York. So let me try it on real quick for you guys just to show you the before the wet blocking. So this is what it looks like on. I really like the size of it. The tails are a good length that are peeking out here. There's definitely some stiffness to it, so blocking should help with that, but otherwise I think it looks really good. So I will show you how I do wet blocking. We are in my kitchen and we're filling up this basin with lukewarm tepid water, and then I'm going to throw in some of this wool wash, just a tiny bit. And then we will throw the scarf in there and just kind of like massage it a little bit in with the water. Guys, I just realized that I did not record the part where the crochet project actually goes into the water before going to the pitting board. So I apologize for that. I guess I'll just walk you through what I did verbally. After filling the water basin, I put just a teaspoon of that wool wash into the water and mix it around. And then I fully submerged the crochet project in there, and then I just massage it like this so that all of the stitches get wet, and then I just leave it in there for about 15 minutes, and then that's where we pick back up. I'm sorry guys, I'm still getting used to vlogging. I've set my timer for 15 minutes. While that's going, figured I could talk a bit about blocking in general and why I prefer wet blocking, because I've seen that question come up a couple times. At a high level, blocking evens out your stitches at the end of the project, and it also gives you the ability to shape your project to an extent. So if you are crocheting or knitting a sweater and you realize that one of your sleeves ended up longer than the other or wider than the other, you can use blocking to shape, again to an extent, those sleeves so that they're more symmetrical. The two main methods of blocking that I've seen and I've done are steam blocking and wet blocking. So steam blocking is a lot easier because you just hang up your finished item, or you lay it flat and you just run a steamer through it, and that should even out your stitches. It also, I guess, wets it enough that you can shape it on a pinning board. But I have moved on to wet blocking for crochet wearables. I will steam block for things like bags. So for example, granny square bags, I will definitely steam block the granny squares so that they're all the same size. But for crochet wearables, I will do a wet block, and the reason for that is, one, the shaping, the drape, it comes out a lot better from wet blocking rather than steam blocking. That's just my personal preference. But also for more of a hygienic perspective, I realized you don't know where your yarn's been. You don't know how it's traveled, how many hands touched it, where it's been stored before you got it. And then also for me, I take my crochet projects everywhere, and I live in New York City. It's nasty out here. So, you know, I'm crocheting on the train, I'm crocheting at cafes. My projects have touched all different types of surfaces that, when I think about it, it really grosses me out. So I use wet blocking not just for, you know, the evening out of the stitches and the shaping, but also for a like first real wash as well. So that is my reasoning for wet blocking. Of course, it is a lot more work than steam blocking in my opinion, but I think it's worth it. So I know people are kind of hesitant to do wet blocking for the first time because it is such a kind of big, daunting process when you do it for the first time. But I promise, especially if you're doing sweaters or hats or scarves, it does look a lot better at the end, especially with drape, and it'll be clean for you to wear. So really recommend wet blocking. It's been 15 minutes, so we can take this out. First, I'm going to get rid of this water into my sink. And I'm just going to squeeze out, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, all of the water as best as I can. You don't want to wring out the water too hard. Like usually I just kind of squeeze it like this. Even with sweaters, you don't want to wring it out because it can stretch and mess up your project a bit. Okay, I feel like that's good enough. So I laid a big towel down on the floor and laid my project flat here. And what I'm gonna do is roll this up. Again, kind of hard to do with one hand, but roll this up like so. And I'm just gonna squeeze. Because this is a smaller project, I'm not stomping on it, but I do that sometimes. Not stomp, step on it. Once you squeeze all the water out, or as best as you can, you're going to unwind and then move over to the blocking board here. I had to do the pinning off camera because I don't have a tripod that would hold my phone at the right angle to record this process. I have pinned my scarf down here, as you can see. To be honest, this didn't really need that much shaping. I really just wanted it to lay flat because it was feeling quite stiff, but I just did the whole pinning down for symmetry anyways. And then we just leave this here. I think this one should take about like 24 hours to dry, so we'll check on it tomorrow. Sweaters can sometimes take up to like 2 to 3 days. I don't want there to be any dampness to it when I unpin it, but I think this one, given that it's a smaller project, should dry relatively fast. So we will keep an eye on it, and I will definitely show you guys the end result before the end of this video. Now that we have the blocking out of the way this morning, I need to do something that I have been putting off for over a week now, and that is winding this monster of a hank skein. I always get the two confused. I don't think you guys can see like how big this is, but the time has come where I need to do it because I am running out of yarn in my current WIP, and this is the yarn that I'm using for it. And I've waited literally till the last minute. I just have like a couple rows worth of yarn left on the current ball that I'm using, but I've been putting this off because it is so big and I have a manual winder. So it's gonna be an arm workout, but I am committed to doing it. I skipped my workout this morning, so this is it. Okay, I am done winding. I ended up with these 2 yarn balls, which is great because I need this immediately for my current crochet sweater project. So really happy I finally got that done. It was a bit of an arm workout, but you know, good way to start the morning. I feel like I'm on a bit of a roll this morning. Also, I have all of this fuzz on me now from this alpaca yarn. Also, I didn't even tell you what yarn this is. This is the Heather Prime alpaca yarn from Galler Yarns. This is in the color Monet. It's a bluish gray with some hints of green in it. I'm currently working on a crochet quarter zip project with it, and this is probably my favorite yarn. I've made a couple projects with it, and it just feels so soft, so luxurious. It is a bit pricey, but if you're looking to invest in a yarn, particularly for a sweater project, I think this is a great one. I actually just started winding my own yarn very recently. That was only my 2nd or 3rd time doing it, which is probably why it looks kind of awkward and my setup is not fully there yet. I, for the longest time, held off buying these 2 products because well, let me go back. I had the winder for a while because I was frogging projects a lot and realized this was a much easier way to wind the yarn while frogging. But I didn't want to buy this as well for a long time because I live in a small New York City apartment. I don't want to keep buying things and storing them. Finally, a few months ago, I just decided to get the spinner as well because I crochet enough and I buy enough yarn that I am winding pretty regularly, and it saves me a ton of time because my local yarn store that I typically go to, they only have one winder, like a lot of yarn stores, but it's a very popular store. And so what ends up happening is I like to go to the yarn store in person so that I can feel and see the yarns. And I either have to make a decision on what I want to buy and then buy it online and ask them in the instructions to wind it and then pick it up within, 1 to 2 days. Or I buy it on the spot in the store, but then I have to wait anywhere from an hour to like 3 hours because there's a long line of other customers, waiting to get their yarn wound. It's a better use of my time to just wind it at home, and these really don't take up that much space, especially this spinner. Actually just folds up and it goes into this thin box, which I keep underneath the couch. So I held off so long for, I feel like, no reason. I'm still just trying to find the best place to place these items when I'm actually winding, because right now it's just like on my desk and it's too close together where like I then have to hold the yarn like this, as you may have seen in the video. But anyways, successful winding here, very happy with these 2 balls, and now I can continue working on my sweater project. I don't know if I'm going to crochet now, or maybe we should look at the bag charms now, because I feel like the clock is ticking and it's still morning, but my friends are coming over at 2, so I want to make sure that everything's ready. I still need to go out and get some snacks and stuff, so I got the 2 main kind of like crochet errands out of the way, and I'll hold off on crocheting for now. We'll see. I poured myself a La Colombe pumpkin spice latte into my cup here. That's my favorite coffee to buy at the store. Okay, I went a little crazy, I think, with the bag charms because I wanted there to be variety. So I bought definitely way too many beads. And the funny thing is I only have 3 girlfriends coming over today, but I think it's fine because I have a couple girlfriends that couldn't make it today, and so I'm doing like a movie night in a few weeks. I'm probably gonna end up doing like bag charm making with a bunch of different friends coming over, not just today. I unboxed and laid out all my supplies here. I know on camera it doesn't look like that much, but in real life it is a lot. Starting with the gummy bear charms here, I thought all of the bead packages I ordered would be around this size, which is why I ordered so much. But clearly that is not the case. They were a lot bigger. But anyways, thought some colorful gummy bear beads would be cute. And then on this side over here, this is made up of 2 different bead kits that I got, acrylic bead. They were called like acrylic bead kawaii sets. But I fear the 2 sets that I got are very similar. And I'm worried. I got this much because I want a variety, but I feel like they're so similar. Like the colors are very similar, orange to orange, like pink to pink, blue to blue. I don't know. And then I wanted to also get some lettering and got some colorful lettering beads here. Did not expect this to be so big. It's quite thin, but still a ton of lettering beads. I can probably also use this for some other crafting stuff. And then I got some elastic string, some knot glue, which I saw in a couple reviews people recommended, and then some colorful keychains or dog clips to attach the string and bead to. So those are the products that I have. I'm actually really happy with the bead selection here. This one that came in this box is really cute. Like, look at these. Look at that little, can you guys see this? Wait, where'd it go? This flower one here? That's so cute. Okay, I'm really excited for this. You know what? I said that I was gonna be worried that these would be too similar, the 2 like acrylic bead ones, but actually they're pretty different. And I'm gonna say this one is not as good as I thought it was gonna be, but that's fine. The other one is definitely a lot cuter, but we can like mix and match, which is the fun part. And the color's like a little different, between the two, so I think this is good. I will try to quickly make a bag charm before I have to go run some errands outside, so I'll do that with my coffee. I made my first bag charm and I tried using all of the beads across the different boxes or packages that I got, and they all seem to work with the thread that I bought, which is great. And I think this is so cute, actually. I might just put that on my house keychain. So yeah, really happy with that. Now I am assured that all of these beads work for what I'm trying to do later today. So now that I have that done, I'm going to organize the beads and put them out for later. And then I have to go and run to the store and get some snacks and do some last minute cleaning before guests come over. This has been such a productive morning, and it's only, I think, like not even 11 a.m. right now. So we're on a good roll today. Hey guys, it's been a couple of days since my last update. I didn't take any more videos of that Sunday. I just ran a bunch of errands outside, and then my friends came over. We had some drinks and we yapped for a while on the couch, which was great. And then we got into the bag charm making. I think everyone enjoyed the activity. It was really fun. And it was a great activity to do while talking and catching up. Each of the girls took home like 2 to 3 bag charms. One of my friends is a doctor, and she actually, instead of making a bag charm, she made a stethoscope charm where like she could put it on both ends of her stethoscope, which I thought was such a cute idea. If you're looking for something to do with friends that's not your typical going out for dinner, for brunch, or going out for drinks, really recommend doing bracelet or bag charm making. I feel like of the crafting activities, it's a very low pressure activity for the people who are doing it and also for the person preparing it. There's very little cleanup. The supplies, you just buy a bunch of beads online, as you saw. Also, I think there's not much pressure in like being good at it or anything. I think sometimes there are crafting activities that can be a little bit more intense. So one that I can think of is like paint and sip. I love paint and sip, but not everyone is into that. And it also requires a bit more work preparing everything. You need more space, there's cleanup involved, things like that. Some people might not even like painting or be good at painting. But I think everyone enjoys a good little like bracelet or bag charm moment because it's easy, it's kind of nostalgic, it reminds us of our childhood, and it's fun. I made 2 more bag charms, which I'll show you. This is the one that I made as the sample. I already showed you this one. I put it on my little makeup pouch here. This is a Bagoo pouch. I liked how the colors went together. Then I made 2 more. This one I don't love. The colors are just like okay, but I made this one. I think I'm probably just going to put that on my house keys. And then I made this one and put it on my little LLV mini boat tote. This is the bag that I use for hot yoga. Like I put my water bottle and towel in there. And this is the bag charm that I added to it. I've already decked it out with a bunch of charms, so thought that was a good addition. So those are the bag charms that I made, and I feel like the get together was a success. As I mentioned, that was a little belated birthday get together. My birthday was around 2 weeks ago, and I feel so lucky because I got some very thoughtful gifts from my friends and my husband, and some of them are crochet related. So, 2 of my very good friends got me gift cards to local yarn stores here in New York. One of them is for my usual yarn store that I go to. The other one is for a yarn store in Brooklyn that I had mentioned I wanted to go to my best friend, and she surprised me with a gift card to there. In addition to that, I bought myself a little birthday treat. Some of you are going to know exactly what this is and like what it means. Some of you are going to see this and be like, why do I care about that? But bear with me. I got myself a 2026 Hobonichi weekly planner. This is the Tamagotchi edition. And it also came with Tamagotchi themed stickers to use inside. I'm planning to use it specifically for crocheting, so journaling and tracking my crocheting activities. This is my first time trying Hobonichi. I've heard so much about it in the last few years. And for those who don't know, Hobonichi is a brand of Japanese planners and stationery items that have a bit of a cult-like following online. If you look up Hobonichi on YouTube or TikTok, you will see so many videos of people sharing, how they set up their planners, how they customize the different templates in here, how they do like junk journaling and stuff in here. There's just so many things that people use this for. I have some ideas on what I want to track in here. I want to keep a weekly tracker of how much I'm crocheting just so I know, how much time I'm putting into it. And then I also want to do project tracking to just get a sense of how much time I'm spending on each of my projects. And I also want to do some tracking on yarn, like how much yarn I'm buying, how much it costs, reviews of the yarns that I've used, things like that. So I have ideas, but given it's my first time using Hobonichi, I think there's going to be a lot of experimenting involved with the different formats in here. For those of you who are using Hobonichis or, planning to use one in 2026, and you have ideas around specifically activity tracking or crafting, project tracking, things like that, I would love some pointers since this is my first time. The months in this planner start in January, so I'm not going to start using this until the start of 2026. That said, I'm still going to go in and maybe even put like little post-it notes with ideas of how I want to use the different formats and templates in here after I do some research online of how other people are doing it and get it all set up for 2026. I know some people will kind of customize and format the blank pages in the back to start using this earlier in October, November, December of the previous year, but I don't really want to do that. I don't feel this urge to start it right away. It kind of gives me something to look forward to in the new year. Here is the Estrid scarf finished, blocked, and on. I feel like it looks so much better than when we first tried it on before blocking. It lays flat and it looks drapier, the tails are even. Everything about it just looks a lot better in my opinion, and it feels a lot better too. It doesn't have that stiffness, and I can actually feel the cashmere in the yarn. I love this. The color I think looks super good as well. I'm definitely going to be wearing this all throughout fall and winter. I'm already thinking of making another one in a different color. I really recommend this pattern for anyone who's looking to do like a quick project. I also think it would be a good gift to make someone if you're looking for projects to make for family and friends. You can also wear the scarf like this more as a full-on neck warmer. I think my scarf ended up a little bit shorter than what it's meant to be based on the pattern, most likely because I didn't do a gauge swatch. But next time I make the scarf, I'll definitely do a gauge swatch because it's a little too short to do this full wrap and have any tail peeking through. So not a big deal. I think it still looks good. It stays in place and everything, but just wish it was a little bit longer. So lesson learned, and it's a lesson that I keep learning because I'm honestly the worst with gauge swatches. My final crochet update for the day, I'm using the yarn that I wound earlier on my current crochet WIP. I'm working on a quarter zip and it's made up of Suzette stitches. I'm playing off of my own Suzette stitch cardigan design, and if you're interested in that pattern, I have a step-by-step tutorial on my YouTube channel. I'm done with the neckline, the body, and I'm now just working on the sleeves. I'm about halfway through the first sleeve. I'll have to do the other side and then add all the ribbing finishings, block it, and then add the zipper here in the middle. So really good progress. I've been working on it for probably almost 2 months now. It's been kind of slow just because I've also been working on some other side crochet projects, and it's been slow because I've been doing a lot of trial and error, so lots of frogging and working it back up. But that's the fun part of crocheting, I think. I'm really happy with the way that it's turning out, and I just cannot wait to finish it. I have some time now, so I think I'm gonna work on the sleeve a bit while watching TV. About 20 minutes into this episode and still going at it on this sleeve, I've done a couple rows. I'm currently watching the latest episode of High Potential. It's on Peacock. It is so good. If you're someone who liked like Bones and Castle, This show reminds me a lot of those shows. It has a very similar dynamic, and it's like an easygoing crime show with some comedy in it. So if you're looking for, a not so serious show to put on every week, this one is so good. Here's a try on of the sweater. I don't think I actually have that much left on this sleeve here because once I block, the sleeve will lengthen, so I don't want to make it too long before that, and I also want to add some ribbing. So I think with the Suzette stitches, I'm only going to do a couple more rows, maybe up to my mid forearm, and then move on to the ribbing. I'm really happy with the way that it's looking, and I think once it's blocked, this like neck area will also look a lot more settled. I love the color, I'm loving the yarn, so really happy with the progress here. This is my final update for today's vlog. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!